Well, hi there. In this video, I'm just going to go through some examples that have to do with zero and negative exponents, okay? The video that explains how these rules come about that I'm about to use is another video that I've made called, I think, Zero and Negative Exponents. This is just a situation where I'm going to go through some examples with you, okay? Sometimes examples are like pictures, where pictures are worth 1,000 words. So let's start with this one right here. 2 with an exponent of negative 4. Remember, when you have a negative exponent from the video, you move it to the denominator to make that exponent become positive. Now my fraction here isn't great. I'll write it a little nicer. There we go. Now when you do this, when you move it downstairs to the denominator, as the other video explained, the exponent becomes positive. And the cool thing is the other video explains why that is. But for now, I'm trying to save time by just going through these examples, okay? I don't want to make you all confused. That's why I'm telling you about that other video first. Okay, now it does say to evaluate. And when a worksheet says evaluate, that means they want you to, give an answer that's as close to just a number as possible. Not just, this is simplified right now. It's simplified with a positive exponent. In my opinion, this is the most important part. The next part really is just, can you punch this in your calculator? Okay, so 2 exponent 4, and we could have done that in our head, but it's 16 because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. So the answer is 1 over 16 if we evaluate it. Okay, let's go to the next question. A question like this, it's a negative exponent, and that's all fine and dandy, but you also have to know, and if you watch the other videos before this, you'll know what to do in this situation. When you have an exponent outside brackets like this, that exponent goes to meet everybody inside the bracket. Okay, that means by everybody, I mean it's going to go to meet the 3, and it's also going to go to meet the 4. I'll write it out right here. 3. I don't have a lot of room for this, but I'll try. Hopefully that's okay. The negative 2 goes to meet as an exponent the 3 and the 4, just like I wrote down here. Okay, now if you remember the last video, to make the negative 2 positive, to make that exponent positive, we're going to move this whole thing into the basement. Okay, we're going to take it from the numerator and move it down to the denominator, like that. And up on top, we're going to have the one that's in the basement is going to move up to the upstairs, okay? So now both exponents are now positive, and now we can evaluate. Sorry, that was a terrible attempt at an echo. Okay, so 4 squared is 16, and on the bottom we have 3 times 3 is 9. Boy, I don't love this answer because it's an improper fraction, which means we should be turning it into a mixed number, which is a whole nother video, but I'm going to quickly do that here. You can watch that video if you like, but 9 times 2 would be 18, so 9 times 1 will be our best option here. 9 times 1 is 9, and how much more is needed to make 16? The answer is 7, and that would be our final answer if we were evaluating, okay? Of course, this would also be a decimal number. If we just went on our calculator, 16 divided by 9, it would be 1 point something, okay? But I'm just going to leave this one and move on to the next question. This one is so nice and easy compared to the one before it, because whenever you see an exponent of 0, you just have to remember that any number, anything, to the exponent 0 is going to be 1. And again, the last video I made on 0 and negative exponents explains that. Gotta love the 0 exponent. It just right away. Just put 1 there, you're done. 1 and done. Okay. Now, this question here, well, remember, we want to make that negative 3 positive. We want to make that exponent positive. So we're going to bring the whole thing up to the top. It's that easy. On the bottom, well, there's nothing down there except for a 1, which we don't really need to show. So really, it's just 5 exponent 3. Basically, we're done, but to evaluate, we have to go 5 times 5 times 5. If you do that on your calculator, you're going to get 125. Okay, This question, you could do what's inside the brackets first, but there's nothing to do. It's just 3x squared y. On the outside, we have 0. When you have something in brackets, the 0 goes to meet everybody inside the brackets. It goes to the 3. It's like saying 3 exponent 0, x squared. It's like saying 3 exponent 0, x squared. There's an earlier video I have made called power of a power, where and there's also an exponent laws video. So you're just going to go 2 times 0 as well. So the 0 goes here too, but you're multiplying the 2 times 0. So that makes it x exponent 0. And then y has a little 1 there, but 1 times 0 is also 0. So in this situation here, everything is to the exponent 0. And you may have already noticed that this answer is just going to be like this one over here. It's just going to be 1. Our final answer will just be 1. It's a very fun thing when you see a 0 out there. Okay, the next question. We have a negative 4. To make that positive, now this is where people get fooled sometimes. The negative 3 does not change. It stays a negative 3, but this negative 4, we're going to make it positive. We're going to move it down to the bottom. So we're going to have 1 over negative 3, but not to the exponent negative 4. It's going to be to the exponent 4. Okay? And now, to finish this off, we have to evaluate negative 3 exponent 4. We can quickly do that here. Keep it in brackets. My calculator likes me to type the 3 first. Whoops. I'm going to hit clear. So 3 and then the negative sign. Some calculators don't mind if you type it in just as you see it. And I'll move that over. And then to the exponent 4. And that gives us 81. Okay? And that is good enough for an evaluation. I don't think your teacher's going to want you to go 1 divided by 81. It's going to be a really ridiculous decimal. Okay? So the next question. Simplify using exponent laws. Express your answer with positive exponents. So we're just simplifying. We don't have to evaluate these. So let's go left to right here. So these ones here we're multiplying. And remember, when you multiply, you add the exponents. So it'd be 2, and 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay, that's what we have now. And if we wanted to, we can finish this question off by saying, okay, when you divide and you have the same base, you subtract the exponents. So we're really going, as far as the exponents go, I'm going to write it over here, we're really going 6 minus negative 6. And when you get two minus signs or two negative signs, or a minus and a negative sign, however you want to say that, it becomes positive. It's like saying 6 plus 6. Okay? So really, 6 plus 6 is 12. And that would be our answer. Okay? It just said express it with positive exponents. We just did that. 2 exponent 12. Let's try the next question. Okay, what do we have here? I have to look closely because it's so small. Negative 12, we have 3 and a negative 1. Okay, remember that negative 1, the brackets are just around the numerator here. So the 3 and the negative 1 are going to have to be multiplied together because it's a power of a power, or an exponent and then another exponent. The rule is you're supposed to multiply these two. So you get negative 3 out there. And over here we have negative 12 to the 7th. There's different ways of doing this one. Maybe the quickest way is we'll just say, well, we have negative 12 and another negative 12. The bases are the same. So let's just subtract the exponents. I'll do that in red over here. Negative 3 minus negative 7. We're going negative 3 minus, oh, that's not a negative 7. It's a positive 7. We have negative 3 minus 7. That equals negative 10. So our answer, although we're not quite done, will be negative 12 to the exponent negative 10. Now, when you express the final answer with positive exponents, we are not quite done. We still have a negative exponent. It's no problem. All we have to do is put it down below, put it down to the denominator. Just put that right there. The base stays the same. It's still negative. Don't change that sign there. The sign that changes is the exponent right there. And now we are done. Okay? we have just expressed this with a positive exponent. Okay? Here's some more questions. Remember, the negative 3 goes to meet everybody inside the brackets. So we end up having 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. And remember the rule, when you have division, you have to subtract the exponents. So in red, I will show negative 6 minus negative 12. When you have two negative signs, it becomes positive. Okay, so the answer would be 6. So let's write our final answer over here. It would be w to the exponent of 6. And because it's positive, we are done. We don't have, if it was negative, we'd have to keep going here, but it's positive, we are done this question. Let's go to the last. Well, I don't know if it's the last one, but let's do this one. The 4 outside here has to go and meet everybody inside the brackets. So 2 exponent 4, because the 4 has to go over there. It also has to go and meet the x to the exponent 3. And 3 times 4 is 12. You multiply them. And on the bottom, let's do the bottom, we have a negative and a 4. So a negative and a 4, that's just like a negative 1 times 4, which is negative 4. X to the 12th times x is x to the 13th. We just add the exponents. There's an invisible 1 here. 12 plus 1 is 13. Okay? Now, let's quickly think about this. 2 to the exponent 4 is what? Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So we really have a 16 there over a negative 4. Okay? That's what we have. There's my thought bubble. So 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. So I've just simplified these two. Now, when we go 12 divided by 13, or x to the 12th divided by x to the 13, well, we have to subtract the exponents, and that would be x to the negative 1. We are not quite done this question. We still have the negative 4 there, but this x, because it's a negative 1, is going to have to go in the denominator down here. And now we are done. Okay? Let's see if there's any more examples. Here's one last example. Okay, the base is the same. That's great. And on top, we're multiplying, so that means you add the exponents. So it's negative 4 plus 8. Okay? So on top, we have negative 4 plus 8, which is 4. And on the bottom, we have 5 squared. Man, this last question, you'd think it would be the toughest question, but it's actually over the earliest. 4, and we're dividing here, so you subtract the exponents. 4 minus 2 is 2. If we had to evaluate, the answer would be 25, but it doesn't say to evaluate, it just simplify with a positive exponent. At this point, we are done, and we don't have anything else except for to give you some links to some of the other videos which I may have mentioned earlier. Because if you just watch this as your first video, wow, it would be kind of confusing. Have a great day, everyone. I wish you luck in the world that you live in. Take care.